To Discovery, the morning mist clung to the Amazon canopy like a shroud, but nothing could hide the massive crystalline structure that had carved its own clearing 5 years ago. Commander Alina Vasquez stood at the edge of the impact crater, her weathered hands gripping a steaming cup of coffee as she surveyed the alien vessel that had changed everything. The Catherian warship stretched nearly 200 meters from bow to stern, its hull a mesmerizing blend of organic curves and geometric precision. What had once been a pristine white surface now showed the scars of atmospheric entry and years of jungle humidity. Vines had begun to claim the lower sections, but the ship's strange material seemed to resist true decay. Another sleepless night. Commander Dr. James Wright emerged from the temporary research facility they had erected beside the vessel. The astrophysicist looked as tired as Alina felt, but his eyes still held the excitement of a child with a new toy. Hard to sleep when we're sitting on technology that could revolutionize human civilization, Alina replied, not taking her eyes off the ship. Any progress on the power core analysis? James nodded enthusiastically. That's actually what I wanted to discuss. We've made a breakthrough with the crystalline matrix. It's not just a power source, it's a living computer system. The Catherians don't separate their technology the way we do. Their ships are essentially massive organisms. Alina finally turned to face him. Organisms? You mean this thing is alive? Was alive, James corrected. The crash damaged its neural pathways beyond repair, at least by Catherian standards. But here's the fascinating part. The individual components are still functional. It's like having a brain-dead patient whose organs could still save other lives. The analogy made Alina uncomfortable, but she understood the implications. For 5 years, the international team had been trying to understand the alien technology. Every other nation had sent their best minds to study the crash site, creating an unprecedented level of cooperation born from necessity and mutual benefit. Elena's radio crackled to life. Commander, we need you in Lab 3 immediately. We have a situation. The voice belonged to Captain Singh, their military liaison and security chief. They hurried through the modular corridors that connected the various research stations. Lab 3 housed their attempts at integrating human technology with alien components. Alina had insisted on this approach from the beginning, arguing that trying to repair alien systems with alien methods they didn't understand was futile. Better to make it work with human technology they could actually maintain. Inside Lab 3, a crowd had gathered around Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their lead systems engineer. The young Japanese woman was practically vibrating with excitement as she pointed at a holographic display that definitely hadn't been there yesterday. How long has that been active? Alina demanded. 17 minutes, Singh replied tersely. It activated when Dr. Tanaka connected the hybrid processing unit to the ship's main network. Alina studied the display. It showed a map of local space, with Earth prominently featured at the center. Red markers dotted the display, indicating something approaching from the outer system. Dr. Tanaka, what exactly did you do? Alina asked, trying to keep her voice level. Yuki's eyes were bright with discovery. I've been working on interface protocols between human quantum processors and the ship's bioneural networks. The systems are incredibly sophisticated, but they're designed to interface with biological components we don't have. So I created artificial synapses using human neural interface technology. She gestured to a hybrid device that looked like the offspring of a supercomputer and an alien artifact. When I established the connection, the ship's memory banks came online. Commander, this isn't just a warship. It's a scout vessel, and according to its logs, it was surveying Earth for resource extraction. Alina felt a chill that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. Resource extraction. Dr. Wright stepped forward, his face pale. I've been analyzing the data streams. The Catharians classified Earth as a Class 7 harvesting prospect. That means they intended to strip mine the entire planet for rare elements. After relocating or eliminating the native population, and these red markers, Alina pointed at the holographic display. Singh answered grimly. According to the ship's database, those are Catharian harvesting vessels. ETA, approximately 6 months. The lab fell silent except for the humming of equipment. Alina stared at the display, watching the red dots slowly move closer to Earth. 23 ships, according to the readout, each one larger than the vessel they were studying. How sure are we about this data? She asked. The ship's chronometer shows this scout mission was launched 18 months ago, Yuki explained. It was supposed to return with detailed surveys and eliminate any potential resistance. When it didn't report back, the harvesting fleet was probably dispatched anyway. They're coming whether we're ready or not. Alina nodded slowly, her mind already shifting into crisis management mode. She had spent 20 years in the military before taking command of the Xenotech Recovery Division, and she knew that panic was the enemy of sound strategy. Dr. Tanaka, I need to know everything this ship can tell us about Catharian technology, tactics, and weaknesses. Dr. Wright, start analyzing their vessel's capabilities compared to human military assets. Captain Singh, I need secure communications with the UN Security Council within the hour. As the team sprang into action, Alina remained focused on the holographic display. The approaching fleet looked inexorable, like a slow-moving natural disaster. But humans had survived ice ages, plague, and global wars. They would find a way. Commander Yuki called from her workstation. There's something else. The ship's repair protocols are still partially functional. If we could figure out how to reactivate its systems. You're talking about getting this thing flight-worthy? Singh asked skeptically. Not just flight-worthy, Yuki's excitement was building again. Look at these specifications. This scout ship has more firepower than our entire space fleet. Its shields could deflect anything we've ever built. And the propulsion system. She trailed off, staring at her readings. What about the propulsion system? Alina demanded. It's faster than light capable. The Catharians use quantum fold drives that can bend space-time itself. Commander, if we could reverse engineer even a fraction of their technology and combine it with human systems, we could build a defense that they would never expect. Alina studied the alien ship through the lab's reinforced windows. It looked dead, wounded, abandoned, but appearances could be deceiving. Humans had always been exceptional at taking broken things and making them work better than before. How long would it take? She asked why UKI exchanged glances with Dr. Wright. With our current understanding, years. But if we could accelerate the research, bring in more teams, more resources, and if we get help from the ship's own systems, Wright added, the bioneural networks might be damaged, but they're not destroyed. We could potentially create hybrid systems that combine human engineering with Catharian biotechnology. Alina made her decision with the certainty that had served her throughout her career. We're not just going to study this ship. We're going to rebuild it. And when those harvesting vessels arrive, they're going to discover that humans don't just defend themselves. We adapt, we improve, and we turn our enemies' weapons against them. She activated her communication device and began issuing orders that would mobilize resources from across the globe. The Catharians had made a critical error in their assessment of humanity. They had seen a species that couldn't even leave its own solar system and dismissed them as primitive. They had no idea that humans didn't need to invent superior technology. They just needed to find it, understand it, and make it better. Over the following days, the Amazon research site transformed into a massive international project. Engineers from every spacefaring nation worked alongside xenobiologists, quantum physicists, and military strategists. The crashed ship became a classroom, a laboratory, and a workshop all at once. Alina watched teams of humans crawling through alien corridors, their tools and computers interfacing with technology that shouldn't have been compatible, but that was humanity's greatest strength. They made incompatible things work together. They had been doing it for thousands of years, combining different cultures, technologies, and ideas to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Asterisk. The first major breakthrough came 3 weeks into the accelerated program. Dr. Tanaka successfully created a stable interface between human AI systems and the ship's bioneural networks. Suddenly, dead alien computers began responding to human commands, while human systems gained access to computational power beyond anything they had ever imagined. It's like giving a calculator the ability to dream, Tanaka explained to the gathered researchers. The human systems provide logical structure and reliability, while the Catharian networks add intuition and adaptive learning. Alina smiled as she watched human and alien technology merge in ways neither species had ever conceived. The Catharians were about to learn why you should never underestimate a species that had survived by turning everything they encountered into tools for their own advancement. The fleet was still months away, but Alina could already imagine their surprise when they arrived expecting to harvest a defenseless world and instead found their own abandoned scout ship waiting for them, rebuilt, improved, and ready for war. Asterisk, the reckoning 6 months had transformed the Amazon crash site into humanity's most classified location. The original research facility had expanded into a sprawling complex of laboratories, fabrication centers, and testing facilities. At its heart, the Catharian vessel no longer looked abandoned. Commander Alina Vasquez stood on the bridge of what they had designated the U.S. Retribution, watching human and alien displays flicker with readouts she still didn't entirely understand. The ship had grown during its reconstruction, with human modules seamlessly integrated into its organic hull, where the Catharians had built elegant but fragile systems. Human engineers had added redundancy, durability, and brutal efficiency. Final systems check complete, announced Dr. Yuki Tanaka from her position at the hybrid control console. The young engineer had barely left the ship in 6 months, obsessed with perfecting the merger of technologies. All human modifications are online and stable. The ship is ready for combat operations. Alina nodded, studying the tactical display that showed Earth's orbital defenses. They had managed to upgrade humanity's existing fleet with salvaged Catharian technology, but it was still woefully inadequate. The real defense would have to come from their rebuilt alien vessel and the element of surprise. Long-range sensors are detecting the approaching fleet, Captain Singh reported from the weapons station. 23 vessels, just as the scout ship's records indicated. They're dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Alina felt her pulse quicken. Despite months of preparation, the moment of truth was finally arriving. Dr. Wright, how confident are we in our assessments of their capabilities? The astrophysicist looked up from his analysis station, his expression grim but determined. Based on the scout ship's databases, each harvesting vessel is designed for planetary processing rather than military engagement. They have powerful energy weapons for breaking apart planetary surfaces, but their defenses are minimal. They never expected resistance. That overconfidence is about to become their weakness, Alina replied. She activated the ship-wide communication system. All stations, this is Commander Vasquez. Today, humanity makes its stand. The Catherians came to our world expecting to find primitives who would surrender or die quietly. Instead, they're going to discover what happens when humans get their hands on superior technology and 6 months to improve it. The crew, a carefully selected mix of military personnel, scientists, and engineers from a dozen nations, responded with quiet efficiency. Alina had insisted on keeping the team small and focused. This wasn't a battle that would be won by numbers, but by innovation and adaptability. Initiating launch sequence, Tanaka announced. The bioneural networks hummed to life, their alien harmonics blending with the steady thrumming of human fusion reactors. The hybrid propulsion system engaged with a sound like reality tearing, and the retribution lifted from its cradle for the first time in over 5 years. Alina felt a moment of vertigo as they broke atmosphere. The ship's artificial gravity system was another hybrid creation, combining human engineering with Catherian biotechnology to create something more stable than either species had achieved alone. Through the viewport, Earth fell away beneath them, blue and green and beautiful, worth defending. Incoming transmission from the lead Catherian vessel, Singh reported. They're broadcasting on multiple frequencies. Let's hear what they have to say, Alina said. The voice that filled the bridge was neither male nor female, but carried an unmistakable tone of authority and condescension. The universal translator, another piece of salvaged technology, rendered the alien words into crisp English. Primitive inhabitants of the third planet, you have been selected for relocation to preserve your species during resource extraction. Resistance is inadvisable and will result in unnecessary casualties. Prepare for processing. Alina smiled grimly. Open a channel. Channel open, Commander. This is Commander Alina Vasquez of the United Earthship Retribution, speaking on behalf of humanity. Your scout ship crashed on our world 5 years ago. We've been taking good care of it. She paused for effect. We've made some improvements. There was a long silence before the alien voice responded, now carrying a note of confusion. The scout vessel was declared irreparable and abandoned according to standard protocols. Your species lacks the technological capability to restore Catherian systems. You're absolutely right, Alina agreed cheerfully. We couldn't repair your systems, so we replaced them with better ones. She nodded to Tanaka, who activated the ship's external lights and sensor arrays. The retribution revealed itself in all its hybrid glory, sleek Catherian lines reinforced with angular human armor plating, organic curves bristling with human weapon systems. The reaction from the Catherian fleet was immediate. Energy readings spiked as the harvesting vessels powered up their weapons and began moving into attack formations. Alina had expected this. The aliens were probably more shocked than threatened, but shock often led to violence. They're charging weapons, Singh reported. Multiple targeting locks detected. Evasive maneuvers, Alina ordered. Let's show them what human modifications can do. The retribution moved like no ship either species had ever built. Catherian propulsion technology provided impossible acceleration and maneuverability. while human control systems allowed for tactical precision the aliens had never imagined. The ship danced through space, avoiding energy beams that would have vaporized any human vessel. "Return fire," Alina commanded. "Target their lead ship." The weapons that lanced out from the retribution were neither fully human nor fully alien, but something entirely new. Catherian particle accelerators had been married to human targeting systems and powered by hybrid energy sources. The beams that struck the lead harvesting vessel carried both the elegant destruction of alien technology and the brutal efficiency of human warfare. The Catherian ship's shields flared and collapsed. Secondary explosions rippled across its hull. As human-designed redundant systems overloaded alien power networks that had no failsafe. Within moments, the massive vessel was drifting dead in space. Alina watched the tactical display as the remaining Catherian ships paused their attack, clearly trying to process what had just happened. Their most advanced vessel had been destroyed in seconds by what should have been primitive natives using their own abandoned technology. Commander Tanaka called excitedly, "I'm detecting massive power fluctuations across their fleet. I think they're trying to activate emergency protocols, but their systems are responding incorrectly." Alina raised an eyebrow. "Incorrectly how?" "I may have made some modifications to the scout ship's IFF systems," Tanaka admitted with a grin. "As far as their fleet computers know, we're broadcasting legitimate Catherian command codes. Their own security protocols are preventing them from coordinating effectively against us." Alina laughed despite the situation. "Dr. Tanaka, that's either brilliant or insane. Why not both?" The engineer replied. The battle that followed was unlike anything in human military history. The retribution moved through the Catherian fleet like a predator among prey, using alien technology enhanced by human creativity to systematically disable ship after ship. Where the Catherians relied on overwhelming firepower and superior technology, the humans employed tactics, deception, and adaptive strategies. Alina watched as her crew, scientists and engineers, who had become warriors by necessity, used their intimate knowledge of Catherian technology to exploit weaknesses the aliens never knew they had. Every system they had studied and rebuilt gave them an advantage the enemy couldn't counter. "Incoming transmission from multiple vessels," Singh announced. "I think they want to talk." Alina wasn't surprised. Half their fleet was disabled or destroyed, and the remainder was facing an enemy they couldn't understand or effectively fight. "Put them through." This time, the alien voice carried none of its earlier condescension. "Unknown vessel, we demand identification and explanation of your capabilities." "I'm Commander Vasquez, as I mentioned before. As for our capabilities, we're humans. We take things that don't work and make them work better. We take technologies that weren't meant to be combined and find ways to make them complement each other. And when someone threatens our home, we turn their own weapons against them with improvements they never imagined." Alina gestured to Tanaka, who began broadcasting detailed scans of their hybrid systems. "Your scout ship is now faster, tougher, and deadlier than when you built it. But more importantly, it's crewed by humans who don't see impossible as a limitation." The silence stretched for several minutes before the Catherian voice returned, now carrying what Alina recognized as respect mixed with wariness. "We underestimated your species. This is an unprecedented development in our expansion protocols. We propose a withdrawal from your system in exchange for the voice paused. Technological consultation agreements." Alina smiled. "Counter-proposal. You leave our system immediately and permanently. In exchange, We don't use our new understanding of your technology to hunt down your homeworld and return the favor of your intended resource extraction. Another long pause. Your terms are acceptable. However, we must note that your species' capabilities will be reported to the Catherian High Council. Future interactions will be conducted under different protocols. We look forward to it, Alina replied. And next time you encounter a species you think is primitive, remember that sometimes the most dangerous enemies are the ones who can learn from your mistakes faster than you can make them. Alina watched a tactical display as the surviving Catherian vessels began withdrawing from the solar system. Around her, the bridge crew maintained professional focus, but she could see the pride and amazement in their faces. They had not only defended Earth, they had announced humanity's presence in the galaxy as a force to be respected. Commander, Dr. Wright called from his station. I'm analyzing their retreat vectors. Based on the scout ship's stellar cartography data, I believe I can determine the location of several Catherian colonies and possibly their homeworld. Alina nodded thoughtfully. Interesting information to have, but I think our immediate priority should be getting home and beginning mass production of hybrid technologies. Something tells me the galaxy just became a much more interesting place. As the retribution began its journey back to Earth, Alina reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment. 6 months ago, they had faced an impossible threat with abandoned alien technology and human determination. Today, they had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their ability to adapt, improve, and turn any challenge into an opportunity. The Catherians had left behind a broken scout ship, expecting it to remain a useless relic. Instead, they had given humanity the keys to the galaxy. It was, Alina thought, the most expensive mistake in galactic history, and it was only the beginning. Asterisk.